Okay, let's really unpack this, because you are probably not going to believe what reportedly happened in the Diddy trial just recently.
It's pretty dramatic stuff,
We're
yeah.
talking about a secret recording,
Yeah,
apparently made by Prince, played in open court.
right. And the immediate fallout was, well,
Explosive is the word, I think.
yeah.
Diddy had an outburst. The judge actually threatened him with contempt.
Mm-hmm. It was a huge moment. Sent shockwaves, really far beyond just, celebrity gossip.
Totally. And what's fascinating here, you're saying, is how this one piece of audio evidence could potentially reframe the whole narrative.
Well, exactly. Think about it. Suddenly, it's not just an accuser's testimony. It sounds like a direct account from someone seen as maybe impartial.
And someone who, tragically, isn't here to be cross-examined in the usual way.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And then you add the defendant's own reaction to the recording. It's powerful stuff.
Right. So for this deep dive, you've got this transcript from a YouTube channel. What is Miss Starworth?
That's right. Reporting on day 3 of the Sean Diddy Combs trial, as covered by Inner City Press.
And it's important for you listening to remember, this is apparently a report of verbatim testimony. Federal court.
Yes. So our mission today is to really dig into what happened, the key information from this really stunning event in court.
Understand why this recording could be so significant, and maybe think about the broader implications too.
Okay, so the transcript, it really sets the scene before the recording even starts playing.
How so?
Well, it described this really heightened tension in the courtroom, more media than usual. The legal teams seemed unusually urgent. Even comments from court staff sort of hinting something big was coming. Definitely not just another day in court.
Yeah, it sounds like the atmosphere was electric. And Diddy himself, apparently he walked in looking confident, maybe even a bit smug.
That's what it says, interacting with his lawyers, standard stuff.
But then there's this subtle detail in the transcript. Tech specialists arrive with gear near the prosecution table.
Yeah, unfamiliar equipment. That's often a tell, isn't it?
You just know something's up when that happens. It feels like a shift.
It certainly suggests a planned move by the prosecution, like they were setting the stage, timing it for maximum impact.
And then the judge steps in, makes this unusual statement, warning everyone to stay composed because the evidence might provoke strong reactions.
Looking right at Diddy while saying it, apparently.
Whoa! That's a pretty clear signal, isn't it? Something big is aimed his way.
Absolutely. The judge's warning really underscores the gravity. It's like a cue that the main event is about to start.
Which leads right into the prosecution asking to present critical new audio evidence.
And the defense, as you'd expect, jumps up immediately. Objects.
Saying they weren't notified beforehand, right? Accusing the prosecution of sandbagging.
Exactly. Trying to surprise them, basically, so they can't prepare a proper response. It's a common objection.
But the judge.
The judge, according to the transcript, had reviewed the paperwork and ruled, no, the recording could be played.
Okay. So that was it. Point of no return.
Pretty much, because that's when the prosecutor reveals what it is.
That's the bombshell.
Yeah. This recording was the final private recording made by Prince Rogers Nelson.
Wow. Just, wow. The courtroom, the transcript says, just froze.
You can imagine. A collective gasp, probably.
Right.
Complete silence. Even Diddy looked genuinely stunned.
That phrase, final private recording, it carries so much weight, doesn't it?
It really does. Almost like a last testament from someone who can't speak anymore. Gives his words a unique gravity.
So the recording starts.
Yeah.
And it's not the Prince we know from, like Purple Rain.
No. The transcript describes his voice as quiet, low, uneasy, almost like a confession.
He says he doesn't know who he can trust anymore. That sets such an unsettling tone right away.
It does. It sort of strips away the icon and shows someone vulnerable, maybe even fearful. That rawness gives it power.
And he goes on to describe these private parties Diddy hosted. Miami, the Hamptons, L.A.
And the details are disturbing.
Yeah. Young artists separated from their handlers, encouraged drinking, drugs, private locked rooms, hidden cameras.
And no security inside those rooms. It's chilling.
And it apparently mirrors Cassie Ventura's earlier testimony very closely.
Exactly. And that mirroring, that corroboration from such an unexpected source, that's legally very significant. It suggests a pattern.
And Prince wasn't vague, was he? He named names, specific dates. A December 2015 party in Beverly Hills.
Right. The transcript stresses his descriptions matched other witness testimony almost word for word, very specific.
Which adds credibility, moves it beyond just accusation.
Definitely. It grounds it in specific alleged events.
But here's what really got me. Prince apparently stated why he made the recording.
Oh.
to get it to the press or police if something happened to him.
Wow. That speaks volumes about his level of concern. Maybe fear, even.
It suggests he felt he needed a safeguard, right? For himself or maybe for others.
It certainly seems that way. A pre-existing apprehension.
And as this is playing, Diddy's whole demeanor changes. Narrowed eyes, twitching mouth. He stops whispering with his lawyers, leans forward, face goes pale.
And the jurors.
Started watching him as much as listening to the tape. You can feel the focus shifting in the room.
Those nonverbal reactions in court, they can be incredibly telling. Juries pick up on that.
Then Prince says on the tape, "These aren't just parties, they're traps."
Oof. That's a heavy word.
Yeah. The courtroom went totally silent, apparently.
Huh.
You could hear Prince breathing on the recording. Someone cried. Reporter dropped a pen. Just intense.
Traps. It implies something deliberate, harmful, not just socializing. The reactions show how hard that hit.
And Prince continues. Says he confronted Diddy about the manipulation at an after-party in 2016.
He confronted him directly.
Yeah, told him it had to stop. And Diddy's alleged response. This is chilling. "You might be Prince, but you're not untouchable."
Wow. That lands like a lead balloon, doesn't it?
Like a gunshot, the transcript says. It speaks to a real power dynamic.
And a potential sense of impunity, maybe. Believing he's above it all. Also shows Prince's courage, confronting him like that.
Diddy apparently whispered something to his team then. Lawyers writing furiously, looking at the judge.
Immediate damage control kicking in. You can picture them scrambling.
And then it happened. The big moment.
The outburst.
Yeah. The tape moves to a March 2016 party. Prince names the address. It's a location already flagged by the prosecution. And Diddy just snaps.
What did he do?
Shouted, "That's a lie!" Stood right up, voice echoing. Security rushes over. His own lawyer's trying to pull him down.
And the judge.
Threatens him with contempt for showing disrespect to the court, basically, which can have serious consequences.
That's huge. That spontaneous reaction, it could be seen by the jury as, well, as hitting a nerve. Losing composure like that is stark.
The whole courtroom apparently went into meltdown. Jurors looked shocked. The sketch artist couldn't keep up with Diddy's expressions.
Oh, wow.
The judge had to pause the playback. Diddy's breathing heavily, hands trembling. The transcript says his pristine image just crumbled, replaced by panic.
A complete unraveling in public. That visual, that display of emotion could be far more persuasive to a jury than any denial later.
And it seems the prosecution planned it this way. Court insiders apparently confirmed they timed it for day 3, thinking his guard might be down.
A calculated gamble.
And it worked. He gave them that raw reaction, unfiltered.
It really highlights the psychological games that can happen in these trials, strategic timing.
So after a short break, they resumed the playback, and the atmosphere totally changed.
How so?
Complete silence, everyone just intensely focused. Prince's voice comes back on, describing what he called an organized system of manipulation.
Organized system.
Yeah.
That phrase implies something deliberate, not just isolated incidents. Much more serious.
He stressed the lasting harm to people. And again, specific details, party locations, room layouts, guest names, furniture colors even.
Oh, aligning with previous testimony.
Yeah. It sounds almost too precise to be made up.
That level of detail, that consistency, it really adds weight, doesn't it? Paints a very grounded picture.
And then he mentions NDAs, hush payments.
Ah.
Says he saw contracts, saw money change hands, millions, like $2 million, $1.5 million, and saw what happened to people who tried to leave.
What happened?
They disappear. Musically, socially, just gone. It paints a really dark picture of control.
A system built on silence, maybe?
Yeah.
Maintained by money, but also the threat of career death. We hear echoes of that in other industries, too.
And Prince recounts another warning he gave Diddy at a Grammy after party.
Okay.
Told him, "This is going to catch up to you." And Diddy's alleged response, "You might be Prince, but I own this game, and people like you don't change it, they get erased."
Chilling. Again, with the erased idea, it reinforces that alleged pattern of threats, that power imbalance.
And Prince explained why he stayed silent while alive.
Fear.
Fear of what? Professional repercussions. Losing contracts, tours, being excluded from award shows. It's pretty sad that someone of his stature felt that vulnerable.
It really highlights the immense pressure artists can face. The fear of being blacklisted is a powerful deterrent against speaking out.
He even detailed suspecting secret recordings at one of Diddy's places, cameras hidden in a chandelier.
Adding another layer of surveillance, of control.
And a producer just dismissed his concerns, like it was normal.
contributing to this sense that privacy was maybe just an illusion in those circles.
And then another bombshell from Prince on the tape. He claims he has proof.
Proof? What kind of proof?
Files, hard drives, tapes, photos, all dated, organized, and copies given to 3 other people.
Whoa. Okay, so this isn't just his word against Diddy's. There might be actual physical evidence out there.
Exactly. It suggests a whole trove of corroborating material could still surface. Raises the stakes significantly.
Absolutely. Potential for more revelations impacting more than just this trial.
Prince's final statement on the recording. It's incredibly powerful. He says, "I've spent my life trying to protect my music, but now I realize it's the people who needed protection. And no one was doing it. Not really, not when it mattered."
That's poignant.
And his very last words were a plea. "If anything happens to me, make sure this gets to the right people. This isn't just about protecting myself. It's about protecting the ones who never got to speak."
What a way to end it. A sense of responsibility, trying to get justice for others even after he's gone. It's incredibly moving.
So the recording ends. Silence in the court. The prosecutor just says, "No further questions."
Simple, effective.
Diddy's team immediately moves to suppress the recording, get it thrown out.
Yeah.
But analysts were saying the damage is likely done in court and publicly.
Well, legally they have to try, but you can't unring that bell, can you? Especially with Diddy's reaction. The jury saw what they saw.
And Diddy afterwards. The transcript describes him as withdrawn, quiet, leaning on the table, looking smaller, fragile.
A complete contrast to how he entered suggests the weight of it all finally hitting him.
Yeah, and the jurors. Some lingered afterwards, one shaking their head, another looking disturbed. You don't need words to know it had a major impact.
Those nonverbal cues from the jury, lawyers watch those like hawks. They can indicate how things are landing.
So now there's speculation. Could there be more recordings in Prince's vault? Will investigators seek more subpoenas?
It certainly opens that door. The idea that this might just be the tip of the iceberg, it's significant. Could have far-reaching consequences.
The whole narrative of the trial seems to have shifted now, hasn't it?
Definitely. It started focused on Cassie Ventura's lawsuit, but now it feels broader. Like an examination of the culture Diddy allegedly created, the power dynamics in the industry.
And the defense is clearly in damage control, trying to get the tape excluded even after the judge ruled it in.
They're doing their job, but the focus has definitely widened beyond just this one case. It's about systemic issues now, alleged abuse of power.
So the big unanswered question, as we wrap up this deep dive into that one dramatic day, what else might be in Prince's vault? And who else could it implicate? That's got to be on a lot of people's minds.
It certainly raises that crucial question, the potential for more revelations, how they might impact the wider entertainment world, accountability for powerful people. It's huge.
Absolutely. So for you listening, the key takeaway here is just how significant this Prince recording seems to be.
It feels like more than just evidence.
Yeah, like a potential turning point.
Yeah.
Direct account, triggering that powerful, maybe revealing reaction from Diddy himself. It could fundamentally reshape how people see this case.
And connecting it back, like you said, to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
It makes you think, what if more comes out from Prince's vault? What does that mean for the industry?
Right. And what does it say about the risks people take to document wrongdoing when they feel powerless to speak openly?
It's a chilling thought, really. The lengths someone might go to.
Exactly. So definitely a lot for you to consider. We really encourage you to keep following the trial's progress. Maybe look into the ongoing discussions about Prince's unreleased material.
Yeah, there's clearly more to this story unfolding.
It raises some deep questions, doesn't it? About power, trust, and ultimately the search for truth.